And Mark Geragos, as a defense attorney, what was your reaction to this very public withdrawal?
Oh my God. I'm sitting here, Anderson, and this is just a train wreck of proportions. I don't even know where to begin.
Explain.
Well, first of all, I don't understand the people invoking their ethical obligations and then going out and blasting the client, which is what they just did. This may be the height of chutzpah for criminal defense lawyers to say, we haven't talked to our clients for 2 days, so therefore we're withdrawing. By the way, there's no court case filed, so there's nothing to withdraw from, number one. Number two, who are you to be diagnosing your client's mental state when you say you haven't talked to him? This is completely inexplicable, and I thought I was watching a Saturday Night Live skit.
Is it unusual to you, Mark, that they were never officially retained by Mr. Zimmerman? I mean, every time I've hired attorneys, I've gotten a document pretty quickly to sign saying, or even a real estate agent, a document pretty quickly to sign saying, I am retaining you.
Well, here in California, you got Jose on the line. You can ask Jose. Here in California, if it's a retention for over $1,000, the state bar rule is it must be in writing, signed by the client. To be out there doing the media tour and bouncing from place to place, and I'm telling you, my tongue is bleeding because I was biting my tongue as I was watching this because I don't like to second guess other lawyers who are in the eye of the storm. But this, frankly, is one of the most outrageous things I've ever witnessed. I mean, this is really beyond the pale for two lawyers to go out there and say we haven't contacted him in 2 days and we felt it was our ethical responsibility to go on the air right now and start blasting him and saying it may be a potential defense that the guy's got a mental problem, and when we're trying to say that he was in reasonable fear for his life when he had shot somebody. This is just the height of absurdity. I don't even know where to begin on this, Anderson. It's ridiculous.
Jose Baez, what do you make of this?
Well, Anderson, first, you can't have Mark on before me because he just stole every single word I was about to say. I think I too thought I was watching a Saturday Night Live skit. I think it's unbelievable that you would get on television and talk about your client's mental state. Now, this is what you have here. You have, as an attorney, you have an ethical obligation not only to not attorney-client communications, but attorney-client confidences. Things you learn in the process of representing a client are considered confidential. So any conversations they had or non-conversations they had with George Zimmerman are completely protected. And the holder of this privilege is George Zimmerman, not the attorneys. You know, unfortunately, I've seen in Central Florida this type of resignation from a public resignation from another attorney who I'd rather not name, and I too think it's reprehensible, unbelievable.
Sonny,
Jose, what do they have in the water down there in Florida? I don't understand what they're doing. This is just absolutely the worst thing I think I can remember seeing any lawyers do in regards to their client. I thought that some of the previous interviews were train wrecks. Those things were toy cars compared to what this is.
Well, actually, Jose, let me just ask you about the Florida law. How quickly are you supposed to sign a document retaining counsel?
Now, a retainer agreement is not required.
Okay.
Unlike in other states, it is strongly suggested, and certainly it is something that any competent lawyer would do, would be immediately get a retainer agreement, especially if you're putting your face, your name in front of a television camera, saying that you represent someone that you haven't even met. I think that's incredibly reckless.
Sonny Hostin, you're a former prosecutor. What's your take on that?
Well, Anderson, for once, Mark Geragos and I agree, right? And I agree with Jose Baez as well. I've never seen anything like this. And so, Mark, you have me on this one. But I think as a prosecutor, you come, you're looking at a case, and now I'm worried. I'm worried if I am inclined to bring charges. Is George Zimmerman a flight risk? Can I get to him?
Exactly.
If I have to issue an arrest warrant, now maybe my investigation is going a little more quickly. Maybe now I'm going to bring charges a little more quickly. And so this really harms George Zimmerman in the eyes of a prosecutor looking at this case and deciding whether or not to charge.
Mark,
and who are they going to call? They're going to call these two lawyers now as witnesses as to his mental state, and which, as Jose aptly described, is something that's completely protected by the privilege. And they just go out on national TV and say this guy is unhinged.